Okay, this is Monday, May 2nd, and this is the 20th episode. And what I'm going to be working on here today is this front fender, another skim coat, or not skim coat, but another coat of body filler. Try to work this high spot that's there. I guess I should call it a low spot right here that needs to come up and meet that. I'll get this sanded back right here and see where I still need some filler. And over here where I've gotten the resin and fiberglass cloth in, as mentioned before, right here, I'm going to sand that and then add a skim coat of the fiberglass to it. And then over here on the driver's side, which I've got the driver and the passenger floor cut out, I'm going to actually the flooring I'm not going to actually address today. What I'm going to do, as mentioned before, is treat the frame with the rust reformer first, after I've gotten the loose rust cleaned off of it, and then I'll hit it with some Eastwood rust encapsulator to protect it, and then that'll do it for that. So if there's any, I've also got to address this. This is a nut that's a captured nut that needs to be re-welded. And then I had a captured nut here that goes with the body mount that I'll have to also tack weld in place, so it's there to put the body mount in before I cover this up with any flooring. So, all right, here we go. Okay, I went ahead and decided to mark the floor here in the driver's portion and get that cut out so that I can work up even higher up on this. So I took it down to bare metal to see where my good metal is, and you can see that that's all pretty solid. So basically just above the dimmer switch, I'll be taking that out. I could take it all the way out to the very top there, but I feel like that's a risky thing to do, and it's not necessary. Not to mention the fact I'd have to take some things apart here that I don't really want to take apart. So I'm gonna take it up to here, and I got the gas pedal out of the way. So yeah, that's what I'm getting ready to do now. All right, I got that piece cut out. That was the most difficult cutting I've had to do so far. And it's a good thing I had this angle grinder with a cutoff wheel, because my normal tool for cutting is electric, because it's got more power really than the air tools do. But this is so much more maneuverable. Anyway, so I decided to, instead of trying to use my air chisel down here to get that off, I decided to cut just a little bit shy of the edge where it meets the panel, and then I'll just use my grinder, my angle grinder, and grind that off. That's the flange on the floor that attaches to the panel, the side panel there. So pretty good straight cut. Of course, I marked it first and everything, but got a little haywire over in here, so I went back a little further than I wanted to, but fairly straight cut. It's going to be a challenge putting it in though, because all I can do is get measurements on that and try to make it match the panel that it's going to go in. Whereas before, on all the other panels I put in so far, I would cut out the rot and then use it as a template to what was left of it, like this here, to place on the new panel, and then draw it out, trace it out, and then cut it. But not going to have that luxury here, so this one will be a little bit more challenging. But that allows me to get back behind there, and that's actually all the way up to the firewall. That's the firewall right there. So it'd be not, it's gonna be nice to be able to treat that whole thing and get this all nice and cleaned up and rust proofed and so forth. All right, see you in a bit. All right, I'm wrapping up for today, but I wanted to show what I got done, and that is I applied the rust reformer to the frame and anywhere that it was rusted, and as expected, it turns black when it's done its job. But they recommend that you let it dry overnight, so I'm going to do that, and I'm not going to apply the rust encapsulator until tomorrow, and I'll do that at the end of the day, you know, end of the time working on it. But what I did do is I cut out the floor piece that's going to go in here, the rear floor section. But I made a mistake because when I cut it out not taking into consideration that I had cut out this piece separate from it. So what that means is that I only have a partial panel replacement that's going to come to about here back, and I'll have to piece the other one back in, you know, using this kind of as a template to draw it out. But no big deal really. It creates an extra weld seam, but I'm fiberglassing the weld seams anyway, so it's not going to pose any problem. It's just a little extra work. But anyway, so the order of things would be to tomorrow I'm going to cut out this waterfall patch panel, and then I'm going to form, or actually before I cut it, I'm going to take and cut out a piece of sheet metal to put over that and kind of form that, you know, using that as a template to form the bends in it. Then I'll cut this out, then I'll weld that piece in. Actually, let me back up. I can form that piece, but I can't weld it in until I have got the floor in place, because the floor has a portion that slides up underneath the waterfall panel, and that will need to be in place first. So actually, I'll form the piece, cut that out, and have it ready to go. And then the next step will be to put the rust encapsulator on and let it sit overnight again. Then put the floor piece in, then the waterfall, and then the B pillar. So that's the correct order of things for everything to come together correctly. So, and I've gotten this hood loose because I'm going to pull it off and take it up to my shop and have a separate area to kind of just work on it when I'm at a standstill, like I'll be tomorrow, because those things that I'll do won't take that long, and I'll be able to go just work on this hood and start finessing any body filler that's needed, which really ought to be next to none because it's already in good shape. Did want to show this though. This is coming along quite well. I may have shown this earlier, but I've got this. This used to be have a low spot in it. It looks like it's going to sand out and be fairly flat. This here is also contouring nicely. It's not done yet, but it's definitely almost there. So yeah, so that's it for today, and we're just slowly but surely making some progress. All right, if you guys like this video, I've never asked this before, but if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you have any comments, I'd be glad to answer, or questions, comments, whatever. I'd be glad to read those and respond to those. All right, have a good one.